Hello everybody, and welcome to the next episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. I don't know how good this recording is going to be for two reasons. First reason, I'm on a new fancy recording device. Now the new fancy recording device may also be known as my old phone. So I have now gone back to a phone with a home button. I believe I was talking about this on the Nobody Asked for This podcast mere weeks ago. How I missed my home button. Which is actually, I believe, to be the title of this podcast. How I missed my home button. Because I did, I really did. I'm telling you, there's nothing like Touch ID. It doesn't work half the time, but like really, does the Face ID work? Does it really work? I swear, there are people that I know who look like people that I know. I have family members, okay, who look alike that can open each other's phones. How secure is that? You know what I mean? Like, if you can have a face that looks genetically related to someone, like you can just open their phone. And then how does it work with twins? Like, what do you do if, like, one twin is a little bit shady and the other one isn't, and then they can just, like, get in and see each other's business? I don't know. The whole thing is concerning. Just the whole thing. What you can't fake is a thumbprint. Trust me, I've tried. And greater men than me have tried before me. Or not greater, I guess. I guess, like, sketchier people have tried before me. And by sketchier, I mean probably more resourceful. I think I've come to the conclusion that, like, I am not a resourceful person. Like, I kind of need, like, I can follow directions. You know, like, in a job interview, when you just lie anyway, but they're like, are you a leader or a follower? My classic answer is always, like, I can do both. I can follow someone's lead if that's the plan, but I could also lead. I think I've come to the conclusion that, like, I am naturally a follower. I think I have the personality of I think I'm just loud, so people assume that means that I could lead you, you know, into battle. But then once we get to the battle, I'm like, kind of don't know what to do and looking for options. Like, I love someone telling me what to do. Obviously, like, in a respectful way. Not even. If you have the right answer, just scream at me. Yeah. I didn't really grow up, like, playing sports, but I do have sort of that mentality of, like, just yell. I'll figure it out. Yell and be loud. That's how I learn. I'm having a podcast dry mouth. For whatever reason, when I start recording, I get, like, a raspy voice. Although I probably had a raspy voice. I just didn't hear it because I wasn't talking. Okay, never mind. I probably woke up with a raspy voice today. And the thing with when your voice sounds off, everyone's like, why are we all so worried about our hair? You know, everyone's like, oh, does my hair look good? Is there something in my teeth? You can't see any of that stuff, which I get is why you're asking. I mean, obviously there's a mirror, but, like, for the majority of the day, like, we're not really looking at ourselves. And I actually saw a cool, I don't know if it was a video. I was going to say I read something. It was definitely, like, online. A YouTube short where it was like, there's not many places naturally in the world, like, in the actual, like, environment, climate, whatever the term would be, that, like, have mirrors. So, like, people before, like the cavemen, cave women, cave people, were not really looking at themselves. So they probably lived much happier lives. Like, they didn't really know what they looked like. I guess there's, like, a reflection in water, but even that's a bit distorted. Like, you probably looked a little bit better. You know, so maybe that's the solution. Maybe not the solution, but maybe that'll help us all become a little bit less, self-obsessed, quite frankly. as someone who records a podcast that quite literally like 10 people listen to, I can't say I'm not self-absorbed. I wouldn't say that I am, but I can't 100% for sure say that I'm not. Like, just like having a podcast, like me even thinking that like it is not the worst idea to record my thoughts every week and put them on the internet, like I'm automatically exempt or automatically taken out of the category of like for sure not obsessed or not self-obsessed. Again, I don't think I am, but like I have to be realistic here. And I'm nothing if not that. Yeah, I would pop a Halls or something because this scratchy throat syndrome is not, it's not working for me. I can't imagine it's working for you either, but this is what we got to work with. So I hope everyone has had a great week. My week was decent. The only problem with my week is the middle / like third week of August. So like technically next week is what I call my allergy week. It's when the weather starts to transition from hottish to coldish. I live in a very mild climate, so like hot usually isn't too terrible, and if it is bad, it doesn't last very long. And then the cold is like, it's cold, but it's not like in the negative 50s or whatever would be considered bad cold Celsius. Not the drink, the temperature. But yeah. And for some reason, we decided to have the hottest day in recent memory and the coldest day in recent memory be in the same week. So that just throws everything for such a loop because, yeah, I don't know, for whatever reason, when we transition from hot to cold, my sinuses freak out. And I'm not ashamed of it. And someone had to say it, and I'm sure there's other people struggling. And, you know, actually, I feel like everyone has allergies at this point. Like, whatever is being sprayed into the air, not to be a conspiracy theorist, I don't fully know if I believe that, but, like, let's just go with it. Like, whatever that spray is, like, it's giving us allergies. Whatever is in a Chips Ahoy cookie to keep it to the level of moistness that it does, it's giving us allergies. I gotta say, I don't love a Chips Ahoy. I definitely don't love the crunchy ones. I don't mind the soft ones, but like I never reach for a Chips Ahoy. Like I could be trusted in a room with a box of like Chips Ahoy. Like if someone was like, "Hey, can you hold my, packet of Oreos?" Like maybe I wasn't the person to pick for that. But if you need me to like safeguard your Chips Ahoy, like I wouldn't worry about it. I just wouldn't. Oh my gosh, I conveniently forgot my tea from last night in the car. Can you drink tea that's sat out? Yeah, I've definitely done that before. Okay, see, this is better. Ah, my voice is back. I'm the Little Mermaid. I never really saw that film. I'm under the impression that she lost her voice. Now, be that physically or like metaphorically, I can't always remember. It's probably both. Okay, I'm starting to get like a foot cramp. I'm in traffic, by the way. As always. One day I will go back to like the professional, we're sitting down, we're recording an episode. I'm just not there yet. But we're gonna get there. And when we do, it'll be glorious. But yeah, just sitting in traffic, you know me, in my brand new car that is actually older than the car I was driving before. I like to, I don't love to follow like linear patterns or anything like that. I love to just let's just bounce all over the place. Sometimes that's fun too. It doesn't all have to be sunshine and rainbows and, we all evolve in different ways. Yeah. I don't know, I just wanted to share that on this a Wednesday morning. What's really crazy is that this is the last episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast before fall. Now, that might have been wildly confusing to a lot of you, because no, I don't think a lot is how we can describe anyone that listens to this show. But to the few of you, I have to stop doing that. I have to stop commenting on how no one listens. You know what I mean? Because there are a couple people, hopefully, and I love those people. What was I saying? I mostly love them because I know them personally. Actually, no. I feel like most of my family, or I'm not calling anyone out. A lot of my people that I know, it was like a let's listen to the first episode type thing, and then it's just you don't build the habit, and then you're on your commute, and then there's a new episode of maybe a different podcast, like that one that's always at the top of the charts where like the poster's a little bit scary, or like you had to listen to NPR. What is that? That's always at the top of the charts. Not that I'm checking the charts to see if I'm there, although I am a Finnish podcast sensation. I haven't mentioned it in a while, so I will brag again. This podcast did reach the top 200 podcast comedy charts in Finland upon launch. People keep slamming their brakes, and it's annoying me. It's quite irritating, and I think I need more tea, and I need hotter tea, because this tea is very cold. And my throat is still scratchy, and my, what is this called? My calf. What's the calf but like the front? My shin. My shin is still cramping. I want nothing more than to turn around, go home, and sleep. I actually think I might want a Halls more. I would like nothing more than to get a Halls, turn around, and then like go to IHOP or something. Yeah. Anywho, I haven't talked about peanut butter yet. Should we do that? Maybe like we can talk about like mixed nut butters, like what's everyone's favorite one? Are we more almond? Oh, I had a genius idea. I got a jar of almond butter, right? And it's a bigger jar than I normally get. Normally, if I buy the wrong one, or like the cheaper one's on sale, I'm like, this is a little jar. What is this gonna last? A week? That's half a joke and half not. The lasting of a week. But the jar I have now is a bit bigger, and I realized it was creamy and unsalted, and I just thought, like, that is not what I want. Like, what I want is crunchy salted, which is hard to find, which makes me think, like, the companies must think that the people buying the healthy peanut butter, not to brag, like, don't want crunch or salt. Crunchy is easier to find. Salted is hard to find. But, like, isn't salt, like, aren't we adding salt to everything now? Everyone's obsessed with sweet and salty. I'm not obsessed with sweet and salty. I'm obsessed with sweet, and I'm obsessed with salty, but I don't necessarily need them together. Like, I'll just have one and then have the other, and just pretend that it was meshed. Enmeshed. I don't know. But I'm obviously too lazy to return the almond butter. And I don't even know if you can do that. Like, can you return food? Like, I didn't even open it yet. But I was like, okay, let's fix this situation. So, I'm going to buy roasted almonds and salt I do have, and just put them together into the creamy almond butter. And then we're good. Now, I don't fully know that is going to work. I don't fully know that that's not going to work. And it doesn't, at the end of the day, really matter, because almond butter can't be bad. Like, even as it is good. So like adding a little bit of salt and crunch, like how poorly can that go? Now, maybe there are like food safe rules, or like I think pistachios are being recalled. Not that that has anything to do with anything, but like I'm telling you, the second the almonds hit the almond butter that I've been trying to save, there'll be a recall. You know what is gross? I tried so I genuinely prefer, and not in the same way that people tell you like this fruit tastes like candy, like I genuinely prefer the like natural peanut butter that like separates with the oil and you have to mix and stuff. It's annoying, but it just tastes so much better. But the other day I was like, you know what, maybe I'm being too healthy, like let's switch it up. And I got one with some oil in it. There might have been some like salt or sugar too. Like I was like, okay, let's see how the other half lives. And I tried it, and honestly, like I didn't like it. Like I wanted to be like, oh look, I'm living on the edge. It was kind of gross. And it was crunchy too, which I like. Like I enjoyed the crunch aspect of it. But I also didn't, because like the when it's okay, so do you know how it's like kind of glossy when it has the like palm oil or whatever? And it was organic palm oil, so I'm sure it's fine. But the chunks don't like there's no moving around of the chunks. They just kind of like sit there like globs of, like as if it went bad. And like the taste, it was, I think I'm just used to, I just have finer taste. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know when it happened. But yeah, I wasn't a fan. So if basically what I'm trying to tell you is like, buy the nut butter you want in the world. I also haven't had like, well I have, like, but I haven't had like a jar of peanut butter in a while. Not in one sitting. I just mean like I've been buying different types of nuts, and I'm starting to miss my peanuts. Love an almond butter. Cashew butter is great. Actually, yeah, people need to try cashew butter more so that they make it more. And someone needs to make a crunchy version, for crying out loud. And a salted version. Like Trader Joe, where are you? Is Joe of Trader Joe's still with us? I have to have Googled it before. Probably on this very here show. Actually, this is probably the longest I've ever gone without Googling something. Like Google, and specifically that box that pops up when you type something into Google, and you don't even have to click on the articles anymore. Usually that's how I get all of my information. Just all of it. And to know that I was able to make it a near 20 minutes without makes me feel good. It really does. Makes me feel better. But yeah, so that is how I am going to fix the almond butter situation. Now don't worry, for those who have been listening to the show for this year, know that my ultimate New Year's resolution goal is to make a yogurt parfait fully from scratch. So like make the granola, make the peanut butter, make the yogurt. I will obviously be saving that till December, because that's just how I roll. Maybe not the 31st, but like probably the 15th, you know? It's like, oh shoot, almost New Year's, time to do my resolutions. So that's kind of my plan for timing, per se. But, yeah. I won't count, the warning I was issuing is I won't count adding almonds to a pre-made almond butter as making the nut butter for my homemade yogurt parfait. Like, I'm not going to cut corners that way. That's just not how I was raised. But it's a good start. I also don't know that I have like the necessary apparatus, or whatever the scientific word is, to make nut butter. Like, don't you need like not only a food processor, but like a decent food processor? I don't know that I have that. Oh no, maybe I do. Did I order one on Prime Day? Did it ever show up? I was a menace on Prime Day. I was just like, oh, it's Prime Day, everything must be cheap. And then you look back and you're like, this is like 10% off. It's like, how prime is this day? Also, why is it 3 days? Also, we've gotten into this. We have discussed this before. I wonder, I would love a scientician to listen to all of the episodes of the Nobody Asked For This podcast. One, because I want the views. But two, I really feel like I would love to know some stats. Like, how many topics do I bring up that have already been talked about? Like, what is the percent of new ideas? Because I feel like unless I'm talking about a story from that week, you've probably heard it here before. Now, this is a terrible advertisement for my own show. But it is what it is. Speaking of it is what it is, do I stop for a coffee? I can't decide. Should I run into a 7-Eleven? I love 7-Eleven. Oh, I was on a hunt yesterday for cream of wheat, and I couldn't find it anywhere. They're not, like, discontinuing it, are they? I settled for some cream of rice, which tastes the same to me, so, like, sure. Again, you put enough peanut butter on anything, and you are G2G. That's French for good to go. I've realized I eat a lot of, like, teeth-optional foods. Like, I would thrive at a retirement facility because it's all my favorite foods. It's probably like yogurt, cream of wheat, cream of rice, cream of wheat, whole wheat, instant cream of wheat. Is cream of wheat, like, it's not really like a thing. Here, at least. But then, what's the difference between polenta, grits, and cream of wheat? Cream of rice I could figure out. It's rice, obviously. Now, the cream part is confusing to me. Like, it doesn't technically taste creamy. Like, I'm scared to guess. I don't know. I'm scared to sound dumb, essentially. But I will be Googling that when it is safe. Cream of wheat, what are you? And then, like, grits and polenta, what is the difference? I think grits is corn. Polenta is corn. So I think those might be relatively similar. I know normally when I've had grits, which is just a few times, one, they're delicious. Two, I think they're more, like, polenta's usually like a yellowish color, whereas I feel like grits is more white. So maybe grits is like a white corn. But is there such thing as white corn, or is it just a different part of the corn? Again, useless without Google. What the heck did people do without Google? I don't know what year Google came out, but every year before then, were people smarter or dumber? I'm thinking they were smarter because they had to, like, I don't know, think. Whereas I don't really have to think. Now the problem is, when you don't have to think and you can just outsource all your information, you're probably getting a bit more accurate of information because there's, like, experts involved. But then also you're not exercising those critical thinking skills. So I don't know what the argument would be as to who was better off. Are you better off having a bit more resources but then not having to think for yourself? Or are you better off drawing your own conclusions, being wrong, but at least you had the brain exercise of trying to get there? I feel like I articulated that to the best of my ability. Okay, update on the coffee. It's not only is it not happening, it can't happen because I have to go to the restroom, and there's not. I think it would just be 7-Eleven, which I know what you're thinking. Coffee at 7-Eleven. What are you thinking? Don't knock it till you try it. It's not bad. Now notice how I didn't say it was good. I said it was not bad. I'm also not a coffee snob, and I'm also not someone who really can taste. We went over this before. Speaking of topics. Oh, it's like kind of like popular at 7-Eleven. In recent years, I've found like what I would call this is my 7-Eleven, and that makes me really happy. I quite enjoy that. Anything I can like claim, I'm like, oh, this is my coffee shop. And it's like, who's my, you know? Like, are you paying the rent? Well, not necessarily. But, actually, kind of. Those prices are expensive. I'm contributing. Maybe they have cream of wheat. I love a convenience store that has, like, a banana. Or, like, an apple. Like, just give me the full range. I want a preheat, like a ready-to-heat beef burrito. I want a where was this made, where was this manufactured tuna salad sandwich, maybe chicken salad, or maybe, I was going to say veggie, but listeria lettuce, I don't know. I want like maybe like a microwavable Jamaican beef patty, or a hot one. Those taquitos are good. The 7-Eleven taquitos are good. Fact. I can't speak to the hot dogs, although I don't know how they could be bad. But like if you want a cheap hot dog, just go to Costco. Obviously you gotta top it with a big gulp. If you're in need, you can get like a first aid kit. Like anything where it is pretty much a one-stop shop works for me, because I am, how the French say, lazy. Now again, you're paying those convenience store markups, which I don't particularly understand why stuff, like why is stuff different priced depending on where you bought it from? Like, I don't know how to make sense of that. Like, didn't it all come from the same factory? I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is I had a lot of fun talking to you all today. I am currently trying to distract myself because I do currently really have to go to the washroom. I don't think those couple sips of tea did me any favors in terms of... Oh no, there's a lost dog poster. That's always sad. In terms... let's find this dog, everybody, truly. In terms of the bladder issue, so I hope it helped my voice. I really took one for the team there. I'm so excited I now get to have my hauls. And yeah, if you liked what you heard, as always, you can go to podcast, nobody asked for this, .podbean.com. On there, you can find links to everything. You can just straight up listen to the show. I think I promised something that I didn't deliver on. Oh, this person's letting me in. That's very kind. Oh, no, they're actually not. Okay, well. Oh, no, they are. Okay, that was very last minute. When someone lets you in, but they basically make it so that you have to cut them off, are you supposed to wave? I did, just because you never know. But, yeah. Also, bring back the wave. I'm going to need to, speaking of driving, not that I'm the expert, but I'm going to need two things. I'm going to need us to start waving again. And I'm going to need us to, what else do I need? What was my other demand? Oh, pull over for the ambulance, please. I've seen so many people, again, not that I'm an authority or anything, but so many people, like, not. Like, I've pulled over and gotten honked at. Okay, I'm doing it again. I've talked about this. But you know that website I was talking about? podcastnobodyaskthis.podbean.com? If you want to hear the story of me pulling over for the ambulance and everyone getting mad at me as opposed to not just pulling over themselves, you can go to podcastnobodyaskthis.podbean.com. And there you can just listen to the show. I can't tell you what episode number that was, but I want to say it was in the last 6 months to a year. So you'll just have to listen to them all. Look at my marketing. The skills are coming. And then afterwards, you can subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, all those places. It's going to be fun, I promise. Okay, everyone have a great week. Hopefully next week is a beanbag chair episode, which means I will record it on my beanbag chair like I did the shows from about a year ago. And yeah, I hope everyone has a great day. Goodbye.